There are prisons you can't see, prisons without bars, without walls, and yet they hold you tighter than chains ever could. I didn't know it back then, but I was living inside one of those prisons. I woke up every day with a heaviness I couldn't explain. I smiled, I worked, I lived, but inside I was drowning. No one could see it, not even me at first. Because how do you fight something that you don't even know is there? It wasn't the world around me that was holding me back. It was the world inside my own mind, and it almost destroyed me. It started small, tiny thoughts, little doubts. At first, they were whispers. You're not good enough. Why even try? You'll just fail again. I thought it was normal. Everyone has bad days, right? So I brushed them off, ignored them, pretended they weren't there. But what you ignore grows, and what you allow becomes your reality. Slowly, those whispers became my inner voice. The doubts became beliefs. The beliefs became my truth. I started making excuses for myself, turning down opportunities, avoiding challenges, sabotaging my own dreams before anyone else could. I told myself I was being realistic, but deep down, I was just scared. Scared to hope, scared to believe, scared to try. Every day I built the walls of my own prison a little higher, a little thicker, a little darker, until one day I couldn't see the outside anymore. Only fear, only doubt, only failure. I wasn't living, I was just surviving. And even that was getting harder. I knew something was wrong. I could feel it every time I looked in the mirror, but I didn't know what to fix or how. So I did what most people do. I searched for solutions outside myself. I bought books, I signed up for courses, I followed motivational accounts on social media. I repeated quotes without understanding them. Stay positive, believe in yourself, fake it until you make it, but none of it stuck. Not really, because deep down, I didn't believe any of it. It was like putting a fresh coat of paint over a crumbling wall. I tried to force myself to smile, tried to force myself to hustle harder, tried to force myself to dream again, but no matter how much I forced, the walls inside me didn't move. They just grew heavier. Every failure felt like proof. Proof that I was broken, proof that I wasn't enough. I wasn't healing. I was covering up, and the more I covered, the deeper the cracks ran. Until eventually, I stopped trying altogether. And that's when I hit the darkest point of all. There's a silence that's louder than any scream, a darkness so heavy that even your thoughts move slower. That's where I was. I wasn't angry. I wasn't even sad anymore. I was empty. Waking up felt pointless. Breathing felt mechanical. Dreaming felt dangerous. I stopped answering messages, stopped meeting friends, stopped caring about anything at all. I became a ghost in my own life. On the outside, no one noticed. I still smiled when needed, still worked when required, still nodded politely in conversations. But inside, I was slipping away, day after day, piece by piece. I remember one night, sitting alone, staring at nothing. Hours passed. I didn't move, didn't speak, didn't even think. It was as if my soul had folded into itself and disappeared. I wasn't alive. I was just there. And for the first time, I understood real fear, not the fear of failure, not the fear of rejection, the fear of staying like that forever. I didn't plan it. I wasn't searching for answers anymore. I had given up, but sometimes answers find you when you're too broken to keep searching. It was a random moment, a late night, a video I almost skipped, a voice that sounded ordinary at first, until it said something that cracked the darkness open. Your mind is not your master, it's your tool. I froze. It wasn't some motivational hype. It wasn't empty positivity. It was a truth I had never considered. All this time, I thought my thoughts controlled me. I thought my fears defined me. I thought my failures shaped who I was. But what if that wasn't true? What if my mind was just a tool? And like any tool, it could be sharpened, reprogrammed, rebuilt. For the first time in months, maybe years, a small flame lit up inside me. A spark, a possibility. Maybe I wasn't broken. Maybe I was just using the wrong instructions. Maybe I could rewrite everything. That night, for the first time, I chose a new thought. I am not my fears. I am not my doubts. I am the one who decides what stays inside me. And just like that, the prison walls didn't crumble, but a crack appeared. And through that crack, light began to seep in. Change didn't happen overnight. There was no magic moment, no instant breakthrough. It was slow. It was messy. It was real. Every day I had to fight a battle inside my own head. A battle between the old voice, the voice of fear, doubt, and failure, and the new voice I was trying to build. At first, it felt fake. Every positive thought felt forced. Every affirmation felt hollow. But I kept going. I started small, one thought at a time. When fear whispered, "You can't," I whispered back, "What if I can?" When doubt shouted, "You'll fail," I answered, "I'll learn." I wrote new beliefs on sticky notes and put them everywhere. On my mirror, my desk, my phone. I created tiny habits. A few minutes of silence every morning to set my mind. Writing down 3 things I was grateful for each night. Speaking life over myself, even when I didn't feel it. And slowly, the cracks in my prison walls widened. I started noticing my thoughts, started questioning them, started replacing them. Instead of saying, "I always fail," I said, "Every step teaches me something valuable." Instead of, "I'm not enough," I said, "I am growing every day." Instead of, "Nothing ever works for me," I said, "My breakthrough is already on its way." Day after day, thought after thought, I was building a new home inside my mind. One made of hope, strength, and freedom. It wasn't easy. Some days felt like setbacks. Some days the old voice screamed louder than ever, but every time I chose the new voice, the new belief, the new path, the old prison lost a little more of its power. And I realized something. You don't have to destroy all your fears at once. You just have to stop feeding them. You don't have to erase all your doubts immediately. You just have to speak louder than them, one thought at a time, one choice at a time, one victory at a time. At first, the changes were so small that I almost missed them. I laughed, genuinely, for the first time in months. I caught myself smiling at little things, a sunrise, a kind word, a small victory at work. I noticed that I wasn't so quick to assume the worst anymore. I gave myself permission to hope again, to dream again. People around me started to notice too. "You seem different," they said. "Lighter," they said, "brighter." But it wasn't just how I seemed, it was how I was. Opportunities that once slipped through my fingers. Now, I seized them. Conversations I once avoided. Now, I embraced them. I wasn't perfect. Doubt still knocked at my door sometimes. Fear still tried to creep back in. But now I was different. Now I knew I didn't have to open the door. I could choose what stayed inside my mind and what I threw out. The world outside hadn't changed. The challenges, the risks, the uncertainties, they were all still there. But I had changed, and that changed everything. Because when you master your mind, you master your life. I didn't notice when it started. It wasn't a flash of lightning or a sudden miracle. It was quiet, subtle, like a seed sprouting underground before anyone can see it. But one day, I looked around and realized my life didn't feel like a prison anymore. I wasn't waking up dreading the day. I wasn't trapped inside endless loops of fear and regret. I wasn't surviving. I was living. The dreams I had once buried, they started breathing again. The opportunities I used to run from, I started chasing them. New people came into my life. People who believed in growth, in healing, in possibilities. People who reflected the new me. Doors I thought were permanently closed, opened wide. Paths I thought were blocked, cleared before me. The world hadn't changed. The storms still came. The setbacks still happened. The challenges were still real, but I had changed. And that made me unstoppable. Because when your mind is free, no chain in the world can hold you. Because when you control your thoughts, you control your destiny. Because when you believe, truly believe, that you are capable of rewriting your story, you do. I didn't become a different person. I became who I was always meant to be. And it all started with one small decision: to take back control of my mind. one thought at a time, one belief at a time, one step at a time, until the impossible became inevitable, until the prisoner became free, until the victim became victorious. If you are trapped right now, if you feel like the walls are closing in, if you wake up every day carrying a weight you can't explain, I want you to know something. You are not broken. You are not a lost cause. You are not doomed to stay where you are. Your mind is not your enemy. It's your tool, and you can sharpen it. You can reprogram it. You can transform it. It won't be easy, it won't be instant, and it won't be perfect, but it will be worth it. Because the moment you reclaim the power over your thoughts, you reclaim the power over your life. Every time you choose hope over fear, faith over doubt, growth over stagnation, you tear down another wall. You step closer to the life you were meant to live, the dreams you were meant to fulfill, the impact you were meant to make. So if you hear nothing else today, hear this. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not your fears. You are the author of your story. And today, right now, you hold the pen. Write something beautiful. Write something bold. Write something that sets you free, because the prison doors are not locked. They never were. All you have to do is walk through them.